and today I would like to talk about a topic that is closely connected to all of our lives, is learning from mistakes. Let me start with a simple question. Have you ever made a mistake and wish you could go back and change it? Maybe you make a careless mistake on a test, gave the wrong answer in front of the class, or failed at something you had worked hard on. Mother Earth have experienced this feeling. However, making mistake is not necessarily a bad thing. In fact, mistake can be valuable opportunity for us to learn, improve, and become better versions of ourselves. So today I would like to discuss why learning from mistake is important and more importantly what it means to learn from mistake effectively. First of all, mistakes help us identify our weaknesses. Sometimes we think we understand something until we actually have to apply it. A mistake can show us exactly where our knowledge or skill are lacking. For example, it makes that a student get a low score on an English test because they make many mistakes with vocabulary. If them simply feel disappointed and forget about the test, they may make the same mistake again. But if they look carefully at their incorrect answers and realize that they do know how to use certain words in context, they may focus on improving this weakness. In this way, the mistake becomes a useful lesson rather than simply a follow. Secondly, learning from mistakes help us develop resilience. Resilience means the ability to recover after difficulties and continue moving forward. If we expect ourselves to be perfect all the time, even small failures can make us lose confidence. For instance, a student may fail an important exam and feel that they are not intelligent enough. However, if they treat that follow at feedback instead of judgment of their ability, they can ask themselves, what wrong? Did I study inefficiently? Did I spend too much time on one topic? Did I make careless mistake because I work under pressure? By answering these questions, they can change their strategy and prepare better for the next exam. But this leads to an important question: what does it actually mean to learn from mistakes effectively? In my opinion, learning from mistakes is not simply saying I won't do that again. It requires a process. The first step is to accept the mistake. We should honest with ourselves instead of blaming other people or making excuses. The second step is to analyze why the mistake happened. We need to identify the real cause. What it like a knowledge, poor preparation, carelessness, or bad decision. The third step is to make a specific change. For example, if the student repeatedly forget new vocabulary, simple saying I need to study harder is not enough. They could instead review vocabulary using space repetition, create example sentence, and test themselves regularly. Finally, we need to apply what we have learned. A lesson is naturally useful when it trains our future behavior. A good example can be found in sport. Imagine a football player who repeatedly loses the ball because they make rush decisions after a match. They could simply feel frustrated, but An effectively learner would watch again, in identify the moment when they pause the decision, practice control the ball under pressure, and apply this skill in the next game. The mistake becomes a part of the training. Therefore, learning from mistake is important because mistake can turn follow into progress. They help us understand our weaknesses, develop resilience, and find better ways to solve problems. However, making mistakes alone do not guarantee improvement. We need to accept them, analyze them, make changes, and apply what we have learned. So the next time you make the mistakes, instead of asking yourself why I so bad at this, try try asking what is this mistake trying to teach me. Because sometimes the most valuable lessons are not found in success, but in the mistakes that teach us how to succeed next time. Yeah, thank you for the listening.